I've always loved that my surface, regardless of what it is, canvas, paper, something else, has the magical potential to become illusion. It can become a space that you look into as though it's a window, in the sense that they create these beautiful illusions that you can almost reach out and touch what you see. And though I make non-representational work, I still treat my surface as a window. And I want to create the illusion of looking at something, even if that something, in my case, is impossible to name. It's a bit like taking a photograph. I'm framing a small portion of something that I understand to be expansive and vast. And in my case, this infinite space I'm choosing from is an imagined one, and it's built from fragments of my observations, sensations, and memories. For me, making sense of existing in three-dimensional space is awe-inspiring. Understanding great distances and the relationship between space and time quickly becomes philosophical. We've all felt this, I think, in some way, staring at the night sky or looking out at the ocean from the beach. The vastness of these spaces require you to turn your body to take it all in. We can only ever see it in fragments. And even then, what I find striking is that, our vision extends only as far as the curve of the earth allows. That sense of scale and physical orientation, that embodied knowing, is really important to me in my work. An important part of what informs how I create my work is my longstanding interest in scientific diagrams, especially those that depict things we can't directly see or experience. For example, astronomical phenomena or microscopic structures are often diagrammed. These are worlds so vast or so minute that they're beyond ordinary perception. These have strongly influenced how I think about visual compositional space. Diagrams attempt to translate abstract reality into a legible format. And in a way, I see my own work as engaging in a similar act of translation. They've really taught me to think about how to represent that which can't be fully grasped. Equally important to my process are actually my repeated everyday observations of space. Shape and color often become stand-ins for things I've experienced or seen, especially things that I encounter again and again. For instance, the route I take to my studio past the same flower gardens, which often contain a metallic or hot pink pinwheel, essentially a spinning flower, actually led to the use of the pinwheel shape you see in Hida, the painting on view at the museum, and was also present in various other works I made that summer, in which I aimed to capture something about my daily walks and my delight in coming upon a pinwheel disguising as a flower. Similarly, observing the way light shifts throughout the day in my apartment, changing in color and shape as it moves through the architecture, also enters my work. These kinds of observations come into the studio with me, and they show up in the colors I mix, the forms I draw, and the way I build the space in my paintings and drawings. I often think of the shapes in my work as relational, social even. The number of shapes, their size, color, and how they divide the surface can make the painted or drawn space feel dense or open or tense or chaotic or still. Though my process is intuitive, it's rooted in my lived experience, in the sensory data I've gathered by moving through the world. I think of painting as a way of organizing and reorganizing those fragments, of sifting through memory, attention, and sensation. These fragments of embodied experience are the building blocks of my work.